Okay, try not to drop this phone. I'm trying to get my glove back on. There. Okay. Protest video. So Guillaume, I know I'm saying that probably not the best. It says Guillaume Durand makes false findings against students. And on the back today, it says, the back today says St. Paul University sabotages and erases First Nations research. So I'm out here, it's May 11th, March 11th, and I'm doing a protest of the Eco Fair. So it's pretty dead here. There's not a lot of cars. So, you know, either this thing is canceled or there's no turnout. There is a freezing rain warning, has been a freezing rain, you know, alert warning, whatever you want to call it, for this Ottawa area for a couple days. It's not so bad. Like you can see, it's not freezing on the roads. But it is kind of freezing on some of these cars. Show you this pole where I'm hanging out. See, that's all ice. That's all, and that's like it's like cased in ice. So it's not too bad out here, but I mean, it's not exactly a glorious day either. So you know, I made it out to do my protest. I've got everybody's favorite sign, also handheld. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is a scam. St. Paul University teaches racism and genocide. So it's going pretty good, you know. As you know, I have my gear so that I can protest in the rain. I have these waterproof gloves I got on the Amazon. So I'll just read my press release for today. I probably won't be out here as long as I usually am on account of the weather. So an Anishinaabe survivor of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, an advocate for erased First Nation survivors, will hold a peaceful protest at St. Paul University's Ecological Fair 2026, Collaborative Action for Greener Future, on Wednesday, March 11th, 2026. The event runs from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the multi-purpose room at St. Paul University, 223 Main Street, Ottawa. That's where I'm at. It's promoted as a unique gathering of minds and hearts and an inclusive space to explore sustainability through a lens of equity and accessibility. The advocate argues these claims ring hollow. The Ecological Fair is a collaboration between departments that have been directly involved in or complicit with first systemic erasure from the university through false allegations, institutional racism, retaliatory processes, and expulsion. These departments include the School of Leadership, Equity, and Ecology, the Racist School of Social Innovation, the School of Ethics, the Social Justice and Public Service, whose claims to ethics are undermined by the unethical actions of all collaborating departments, the School of Counselling, Psychotherapy and Spirituality, to which Guillaume Durand is attributed, the School of Conflict Studies, where Aurélie Lacassagne and Heather Eaton teach, and the Institute of Transformative Leadership, Orsi, and Le Centre Oblat. So specific signage at the protest will name some of these departments and individuals for their roles in the advocacy erasure. Guillaume Durand was included in the unethical committee that ignored the advocate's submitted evidence and issued false findings of academic fraud against her. Despite proof that sources had been accepted throughout 2 years of coursework. Heather Eaton in the School of Conflict Studies submitted a false and improper complaint used in retaliatory processes. Aurélie Lacassagne in the School of Conflict Studies, and my former supervisor, recruited me to the university for exploitation and participated in processes that contributed to the advocate my retaliatory expulsion after she raised complaints of racism. These actions form part of the same pattern the advocate has protested since early 2025 at My paper is all wet now. At CRITS events, Research Day, the Graduate Student Symposium, the book launch on social innovation and other university activities. Documented instances of discrimination at SPU include arbitrary devaluation of First Nations research on Anishinaabe ontologies and use of EDI, equity, diversity, and inclusion frameworks as a pretext for bias. Those actions are linked to faculty such as Chris Mackey and Amanda Wilson. Retaliatory administrative investigations and expulsions without due process, involving fabrications from individuals such as Heather Eaton, Amanda Wilson, Chris Mackey, and Simon Tremblay-Pepin, and a fake investigation by unethical lawyer Stephen Gone of ADR Ottawa, which produced no evidence or wrongdoing or proof that an investigation even occurred. Steve! Pathetic. Participation of Professor Guillaume Durand on a committee that disregarded legitimate evidence and contributed to false findings. Extraction of nearly $15,000 in tuition while delaying core research support, then sabotaging the advocates' work on Anishinaabe philosophies, actions that directly contradict the department's stated commitments to decolonization, anti-racism, transformative justice, and equity. Weaponization of academic discourse and events to promote selective inclusion while erasing lived experiences of MMIWG survivors and First Nations ontologies. Leadership failures, including inaction by Archbishop Marcel Damphouse on appeals that perpetuated the erasure of MMIWG survivors. As an Anishinaabe MMIWG survivor repeatedly erased by SPU's racist and genocidal practices, I will be outside the Ecological Fair with signage naming some of the departments and individuals responsible. Said me, the advocate, Danahiti, the survivor. They speak of collaborative action for a greener future, equity, accessibility, and spirituality while practicing the opposite inside their own institution. They extracted my tuition, ignored my evidence, fabricated complaints, and silenced the First Nations voice, all while branding themselves as leaders in ecology, social innovation, ethics, counseling, and conflict resolution. This is not sustainability or justice. This is a dangerous cult that recruits, exploits, and erases. Too often, First Nations do not survive this kind of institutional exploitation, and it's genocide. The protest calls on St. Paul University to engage in meaningful reconciliation, including an independent review of its policies on racism, bias, and discrimination complaints, full disclosure of internal processes and committee decisions, including the committee involving Guillaume Durand, and restitution for affected students. Supporters are encouraged to join the peaceful demonstration or share their stories of institutional harm using the hashtag SPU accountability. Okay, so that's it for my video today. Like I said, it's pretty ugly out here, but it's going good so far. I'll be out here for a while longer, but likely not as long as I usually am. So thanks for watching, and thanks to my supporters. Bye, chums!